Hey there, folks. You're listening to Movie Squad's review of Pirates of the Caribbean Dead Men Tell No Tales. I'm Joey DeAngelis here with Richard Purnell for another video.
Again.
Again.
Yes. People might be saying that about this pirate movie too. Again.
Mom might be saying we're beating a dead horse at this point.
Because they tell no tales.
I guess ultimately the question is which one of us is Barbossa, which one's Jack Sparrow.
I mean, admittedly, between the two of us, I'd probably say you're Barbossa.
You know what? I can accept that.
I mean, I don't drink, but I don't need to. I guess it's my response to that.
Although if I was Jack Sparrow, I'd be asking, why is the cream soda gone?
I'd be like, really? That's what you want to know? Yes.
Yes.
I want to know where it went.
I want to know. Can you show me?
Oh man, we just brought Tarzan in here for no reason. I love it.
We brought in a Disney movie to talk about another Disney movie. So, for you folks who haven't listened to it yet, we do have a Pirates of the Caribbean retrospective on this channel, which I'll link to in the description, or you can just look it up on the channel.
Watch it!
It's.
I mean, please watch it.
It's like an hour long where we talk about the first 4 movies. Just listen to it in your leisure.
Like, wear a robe, maybe sit by a fire.
Read a book.
Read a book. Well, don't read the book because then they won't watch the video.
Well, have the video playing in the background because it's,
Okay, there you go. Maybe we can do an audio book. We could just make a book out of what we talked about, and then they could read along. I don't know.
Yeah. So
that just seems overcomplicated.
I guess we'll just start with our non-spoiler thoughts, and then we'll get into lengthy spoiler discussion.
Oh.
So Richard, since you already know my thoughts, I guess I'll reveal mine to the audience.
Yeah, you spoiled because I was waiting this whole time. You're like, okay, I want to know what he thought. And then I go on Facebook and I'm like, gosh darn it.
You're probably like, somebody asked you like, what's the worst what's the worst thing you've ever dealt with spoilers? And it's like reading Joey's thoughts on Dead Men Tell No Tales.
God, like it's as bad as when someone told me the ending to Titanic. I'm just saying. Like, come on.
This is almost as bad as when somebody shared the screenshot of Han Solo getting stabbed.
I mean, come on.
Like, that was awful. And I hate you still, whoever you were. I even forget your name. But
he's not worth knowing his name.
You are horrible. But anyway, there's this movie, and
before you get, you want to let them know what this one's about at least.
You know what? I guess that's a good way to get into things. Yeah. So basically, there's another Pirates movie, and we have a bunch of people looking for Poseidon's trident.
His fork. Yeah.
His fork. Because, they're all hungry for something.
Like, someone wants some food that no one actually has silverware in pirate times, I guess.
And everybody gets a subplot.
Everybody. And we're not even kidding. They start introducing stuff like 3/4 of the way into the movie.
Yeah. Some characters just absolutely go nowhere. And Jack's there.
As he always is. I was going to say usually. Like, he's always there.
I think he is the most there he has been. I don't mean that in the sense that he's in there a lot. I mean, he's just there in this one. He really is a side character in this one. Or feels more like a side character. Even though a lot of the motivations and stuff are revolving around him.
Yeah. Like, he's just... I don't even know. He's just there.
Things happen.
But hey, he's there, so.
But basically, if you haven't seen the trailers, basically in the trailers you have Captain Salazar, played by
Javier Bardem.
Played by our new Frankenstein monster, Javier Bardem.
Who, I'll just say this right now. Javier Bardem's played a lot of villains, and I've loved a lot of those villains. Like, I loved him in No Country for Old Men.
Of course.
Regardless of... I loved him in Skyfall.
Liked him a lot in Skyfall, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, I was excited to see him in playing a Pirates of the Caribbean villain. I mean, who would be?
I know. Well, this movie,
Salazar.
again, I want to see it again, but I probably won't see it in theaters.
Wait till DVD.
I will wait till Blu-ray. I will wait.
My bad. I'm dated with my DVD.
I'm gonna wait for the VHS release.
Oh, is Betamax coming out now?
Oh boy, where's my Laserdisc? Where's my Laserdisc? I'm gonna bust out my 35mm projector.
We're gonna watch it on a white wall. Have a good time.
We're gonna watch the crap out of that
until the film burns.
Woo!
Yeah.
So,
anyways,
so delaying the inevitable. I think just going off as like just immediate reaction. This might be my least favorite out of the Pirates movies.
Elaborate.
So, I felt like there was no truly memorable... I know it's like, again, there are bad movies, plenty of bad movies that have memorable action set pieces. This one didn't really have one. There were some cool moments. There were some really solid moments. Like, you see this in the trailer, like the zombie shark attack. One thing that's more spoilerly, which I'll get to later. I just felt like, I guess, it's hard for me to talk about it without spoiling it, even though it's not really a movie nobody cares for me to spoil about. But this is kind of the same problem with, like, not problem, but like thing with like Force Awakens, where I guess I'll just say this movie is basically the Force Awakens of the Pirates movies, except I really loved Force Awakens.
Whereas
this one not so much. And you might be like, well, why is it like Force Awakens? I'm like, Force Awakens is a remake of A New Hope.
Yeah, or at least that's the claim everyone has.
That's the claim.
But it is kind of.
This is a remake of, quote unquote remake of Pirates 1, Curse of the Black Pearl.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but it's just it feels the way they do it. At least with Force Awakens, they inject it with characters I really care about. I'm with we're with the new characters for a good chunk of the runtime before we even see Han Solo or Chewbacca, and it's they make us care at least. This one, I don't feel that this one does as much of a good job, in my opinion, of making us care about our new characters, Henry and Karina.
Yeah.
Henry and Karina. They're not bad. It's just, there's also just so much going on in this movie. It's hard to, like, for a movie that's not nearly as long as the other ones, it feels long, and it felt like there was too much in it.
Well, there you go.
And whereas the other ones had more time to breathe, but I'll let you get into your non-spoilery thoughts.
Well, I'll tell you this. I completely agree.
Oh, really?
I completely agree.
I was not expecting this.
This is my...
This breaks the 40% rule.
This breaks the 40... For those of you that don't know, Joey and I have this 40% rule where we pretty much like 40% of the same things.
No, you mean 60%, and we disagree on...
Yes. We disagree on... No, I think it's the other way.
I think it's...
See, now that we're going to throw that into the 40%.
I think 40%. No, because whenever you mention Man of Steel, you're like, 40%!
40%! No. But this this was probably my least favorite Pirates of the Caribbean. Because I'm sitting there, I'm watching it, and first off, everything was way, way too on the nose.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if there's the first 5 minutes, they had this cool kind of setup. You see the little Henry. It's not much of a spoiler. The little Henry, the little version of like the little Henry,
the main hero.
And he talks about them trying to find Poseidon's Fork, and it's very like, we need to find, like, he literally lays out the plot, like, this is what we need to do.
Yeah.
And then like, you don't even see the credits until frickin' Javier Bardem goes, "Dead man tell no tales," which no Pirates movie has ever said the title of the movie until now, which is interesting.
Well,
you ever think about that?
They've said the dead man's chest in the dead man's chest. I'm pretty sure.
But that's true. That's a good point. But at least they didn't say dead man's chest and then like
a cut to
Pirates of the Caribbean. Dead man's chest,
which to me was the last great Pirates movie.
Dun dun dun.
But you continue. I'm sorry.
But yeah, everything was just way too on the nose. And like you said, this things just happened.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like it seemed like there was maybe like maybe one guy said, "Oh, let's do like a classic ghost story, kind of like the first movie, kind of harken back to the first movie." Where like or like it kind of bring because that's because they advertise this as the final Pirates adventures, so they're like, let's kind of do something from Jack's past where they try to attack, but then someone's like, but they still need to find like some mythological
Thing.
on the sea thing, like, so let's what's the most ultimate thing they could find in the sea. They found all this other crap. What else could they find? How about Poseidon's trident? Let's just throw that in there. We'll make that like the centerpiece of everything. Will Poseidon be in it? I don't know. We'll find out. and then you got, and then again, it's just hard to explain. But just like you said, just stuff happened. I didn't really care about any of the characters, like the new characters. I mean, and yeah, it was kind of a like. But there was some parts I laughed. I'll give it that. Like, it still had a good, like, some of the like dialogue I thought they did pretty well on. One thing I'll definitely say, and I think this you could definitely tell with this one, is that any of like the classic characters like Barbossa or Jack, while Jeffrey Rush and Johnny Depp acted like those characters, they didn't talk like those characters anymore. You know what I mean?
It felt Barbossa really felt weird.
Like Barbossa and Jack, I'm watching both of them in the movie. I'm like, they don't. Jack like says like these long run-on sentences that amount to almost nothing, and he barely he doesn't even do that once in this movie.
You know what? This movie, it felt like Johnny Depp was playing a Captain Jack Sparrow like cosplayer, or somebody who would be at the Disney parks as Jack Sparrow.
I can see that, but
it felt tired.
Which, I mean, I guess is kind of the point of the story of him, because like he's kind of lost his luck or whatever.
Yeah.
Again, that's not a spoiler. That's just what it is.
Mm.
I don't feel like I'm going to spoil anything because nothing happened in this movie really.
Nothing. I mean, the only thing I really care about is the after credit scene and like the very end.
We'll get to that.
We'll get to that. That was the one thing I really liked.
But but like it just kind of felt like the characters, the classic characters, weren't written right. The new characters were just kind of bland, and everyone was just like, "We're doing this again." And it's just, I don't know. It just, nothing felt right about it. Like it felt like they were like trying to make a Pirates movie, but it didn't really come off that way, I guess. You know what I mean?
It felt like it had Pirates stuff in it, but it didn't. Yeah. It didn't have like the grand, especially with like the first three. Yeah.
Another
thing I will say, this movie feels very CGI heavy. The production value has gone way down.
Yeah.
I feel. Some of the stuff like Salazar, like the effects in Salazar are really great. But I feel
like the ghosts and stuff were really cool.
But again, it's like everything else just feels so fake and overproduced.
There's one thing that, like, the one CGI moment that actually really bugged me, and this is something that's been happening a lot with like the Marvel, Disney movies, where like they de-age actors.
Yeah.
Where like they did it, and like pretty much every Marvel movie has done it with like Michael Douglas and then Kurt Russell in the most recent one.
Robert Downey Jr.
But Robert Downey Jr. they de-aged him, and they do it to Johnny Depp in this movie, which you saw in the commercials.
Right.
But which was at times it was cool, like it looked good, but then when he actually like talked and when he moved his face, it just seemed like really off.
Yeah, it was
and
a little weird.
I don't know if it's just me, but I don't know if it's just me, but honestly, I feel like they de-aged Johnny Depp to look like Enrique Iglesias. I'm like, that's not Johnny Depp.
You know what really bothered me? What bothered me was you hear his voice as a young person, right? And it sounds like old Johnny Depp. And then you hear it later, and it sounds like, oh, Captain Jack Sparrow! Captain Jack
Like the first time he talks, he sounds like 55-year-old Johnny Depp, and then he starts screaming, and he's like, "Oh wait, crap, we forgot to like lower his voice. Okay, we'll just do it later."
And it really is bad. I wish they just kept him like silent in those flashbacks. That would have been awesome,
right? But then like they did, like you said, there was some cool moments. There was some things. Like, you learned, like, a few things about, like, the history of some characters that were kind of cool. And, some of the fight sequences were pretty nifty. And, like, the zombie shark thing was cool.
Yeah, zombie shark was neat.
So there was definitely some cool moments. And I do agree the after credit scene was by far, like, the best thing of the entire movie. But cool moments do not make a cool movie.
Especially, like, okay, let's talk about, like, the At World's End. That had the Maelstrom sequence. And that
we've talked about this.
Like, look, I've made fun of it, but it's at least like I've seen that sequence, and I don't think there's too many other like big action sequences that can even compare to the nuttiness and like the scale of that scene.
And it's insane, but it's like insane and like ridiculous in almost the best possible way.
Yeah,
it's weird.
And like the last two movies have really skimped out on it. It felt like dollar store versions of The Last Crusade, where they find the object and then something happens and then they have to run away. That's what happens. It's a dollar store version of The Last Crusade. These last two movies.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, I totally agree.
Spoilers?
So I guess. Well, I mean, what would you say it's worth seeing in theaters, or should people rent it, or should they not see it at all?
If you really need to see it in theaters, don't pay full price for it. Go to an early morning screening.
I mean, I saw it for free because I work at theater,
right?
So I mean, I'm glad.
Not everyone's like you or my brother, so.
Great people. You mean?
Yeah.
Great people.
Yes.
That work at a movie theater.
So I would say, like, honestly, just wait for it. I think Disney will probably put it on Netflix at some point.
Yeah, I definitely agree on that. I mean, if you're a fan of the movies, maybe check it out just to make your own opinion on it. But I mean, just admittedly, just kind of wait till like it's worth renting or seeing on Netflix. Yeah, it's just unfortunately it's just not as good as I was hoping, at least. Or at least yeah, that's about it.
So I guess there's that. Spoilers.
Yeah.
Spoilers.
So if you do not want to be spoiled by our review, please by all means stop watching. And then, because the rest of this video is just going to be spoilers, so just stop watching. But
and if you do
come back,
if you do see the movie at some point, come back and listen to our thoughts.
Or if you don't care,
that's always that option too.
There's always that. Just stay on with us. Other than that, for those of you that are stopping to watch, I got nothing to say. I was gonna say like, why don't you do something in the comments or something? I don't know, right. But I lost my train of thought. Oh well.
So this movie.
Spoilers. I want to say one thing, real quickly, spoiler wise, that just kind of upset me. Like in the aftermath, like on the car ride home, at the end of On Stranger Tides, when the dude from the Hunger Games and the vampire mermaid chick get sunk into the water or whatever, and then you don't really know what happened to them. I was kind of hoping this movie would address that a little bit, and it doesn't even mention it.
You know what? Speaking of mermaids, this was a movie that needed mermaids. This movie needed the Spider-Man vampire mermaids.
Honestly, yes.
Like, can you imagine? It's like you have like this.
Because why did?
No, you have the mermaids. They pop out, okay, and they attack Salazar's crew, and it's insane. And then they break the curse.
While they're finding the trident, and you just see like these tongues shooting out the side of the water.
Yes.
Just like that would have been pretty sweet. But no. I was just like, I'm still curious what happened to those two. I guess as mad as I am on that movie, I'm still like, what the heck happened to these two characters?
You know, it's not like At World's End where they gave you a full like sheet on like things about the movie and like questions that needed to be answered.
It's just like, here's this story thing. It's like not to mention Marvel movies again, but it's like the freaking Stern from the Incredible Hulk. We're not going to know what happened with him.
No, we won't.
Darn it. Anyway, I just wanted to start with that.
It's fine. That Stranger Tides was like 6 years ago. I just want to remind people.
They completely forgot about it. They're like, oh yeah, crap, we forgot.
But the thing is, they weren't in the original 3, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's true.
But there was a mermaid Easter egg in the movie, in the beginning of the movie, in young Henry's like little cabin or Henry's cabin thing, where you see like the picture of the octopus or kraken looking thing with the picture of the mermaid.
They really tried to make this movie like almost a culmination, kind of like this is the end kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Again, like it's like a Force Awakens for pirates.
Yeah.
You have also, not to mention, we have Will and Elizabeth back, but very briefly.
Though they have the best scene.
They have the scene at the beginning with Will and Henry. That was a heartbreaking scene.
Again, dialogue could have been better, but heartbreaking scene.
It could have been better. But speaking as somebody who remembers like seeing At World's End on the big screen and like Will Turner having to be cursed, and then going back to that, and you're like, damn, he's still cursed.
And it's weird to think that the Turner family legacy is that their fathers end up being cursed on the Flying Dutchman.
Yeah,
it's weird. Like I thought about it, I was like, oh, dang.
And you know what? You know what? Also, too, Will Turner sounded like his dad a little bit more in this one. I don't know. It was a weird thing that I noticed. I'm like, oh, it's pretty good. Did they?
Though I do want to point out something. Speaking of aging, we mentioned Johnny Depp being de-aged in the opening of the movie. I understand Will Turner not aging because he's cursed. He's stuck on the ship like his dad. His dad didn't really age. You know what I mean? But there's no way Elizabeth Swann still looks that good.
I mean,
Keira Knightley's an angel, but she needed some form of wrinkles, maybe some kind of, because let's be real. Let's be real. She still looked 25.
Actually, I would say she looked a little older. Her hair looked a little older.
Okay, maybe like in the mid 30s, but she's definitely not like 40 or 50.
But again, how long ago? I guess if we're like, it's weird to think about the timeline of the Pirates of the Caribbean universe.
Because like the kid, because Henry when he was, I'm assuming he was about Will's age in the first Pirates movie, right?
I guess.
So he was at least in like his maybe early 20s, or like he kind of looked 18.
My guess,
at least in his early 20s.
I guess. I'm trying to think because at the end, after credit scene of At World's End, you presume that the kid's at like 9-10 years old, and you have that after credit scene, and you presume he's not that much older in the in that scene, so he could be like 18 to 20-ish, even though actor's probably older than that.
Yeah, but I'm just thinking. I feel like Elizabeth should have been a little older. I don't know. That bugged me.
But my thinking with that is, it's like, again, it's like you want to see everybody like look good, and
I mean, I understand that, but still,
it doesn't make sense logically speaking.
I mean, but then again, the Pirates of the Caribbean movies don't really have a lot of logic. But in this movie, they do like have a character who's like all about logic until they're like, guess what? There's ghosts and there's all this other crap.
And she's like, there's a minor calculating error. I'm like, no, you are wrong. There are ghost pirates. Shut up.
You are stubborn. You're beautiful, but you're stubborn.
She's a cutie, that Karina lady.
Karina, I want to say it's Karina Barbosa. What?
And Patty guessed that twist.
Really?
I wasn't expecting it, and then she's like, he's the dad, and I'm like, what's what?
like I didn't even like consider it until the moment they brought it up. Like when they were like, when he was like, you know, when he and Jack were talking, when he was tied to the mast on the Black Pearl, which is now out of the bottle.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
I'm just spoiling everything now. Yeah, I was happy they addressed that from On Stranger Tides, but I forgot what I was gonna. Okay, but like when they just like Hector Barbosa is her dad, I'm like, did that need to happen? like as cool as that is in some way, the way that they did it, you're like, really? Okay. I don't remember that part ever happening, but all right, sure.
It's just like, okay.
That's just another story thread. And then we even got like how Jack Sparrow got all of his crap, like how he got his compass, how he got his hat, how he got his whole outfit, actually.
Oh my god! I'm thinking like Jack Sparrow's like outfit can have its own Wikipedia page.
It's like, this is how he got it, and the whole tribute thing. Like Jack in any other movie has never said, "You need to do this for me because of whatever."
Oh,
and then they just introduce it, and they have to explain it like as something that no, he never did it.
No, but wait. That reminds me. It's like, remember the compass? And it's like, weren't there situations where other people had the compass?
Yes.
Where the hell was Salazar?
He was taking a nap. But I guess
I cannot believe maybe Javier Bardem's character was taking a nap. He's like, I will get my revenge on Sparrow, but I must take a nap.
I mean, maybe it's because Jack never gave it up. Right?
I guess.
Because he kind of
But even then, weren't there periods of time where other people had it in their possession, or they were?
Well, like other people like took it from him, but he never actually like gave it up. I don't think.
I think it's just weak.
Yeah, it's.
I mean, weak, but I get what you mean.
Yeah, it's not as well. I would say it's not as weak as freaking Keira Knightley still looking like, you know, mid-30s to early 30s, but you know, whatever. That's the 40%.
I guess so. That's where it comes up.
Yeah, that's just another weird kind of like thing. I will say this though about the movie. One thing I did like, even though I saw it coming a mile away, and I'm sure you did too, when they introduced Jack into the movie, I thought that was pretty cool.
That was nice.
Like, because you know you're in this town, I think it was St. Martin or whatever, and they're like, you know, they're christening the new bank of St. Martin, and they're getting ready to open up this oddly looking vault, and then immediately you're like, oh gosh, Jack's got to be in there, because they built it up so much, like, you know, no one can penetrate this vault, and they open it and Jack's laying in it and taking a nap. and then just to put icing on the cake, it turns out he was in there with like the mayor's wife or whatever.
I like to call the mayor like Dollar Store Ian McKellen, because his voice made me think of Ian McKellen.
The first time I ever saw that actor was actually in Ace Ventura 2. So yeah. I always associate him with that movie of like the Great White Bat.
But that was a nifty moment, and then that was a weird, interesting sequence where they had the horses like pull the building.
I mean, they did rob the bank. They took the whole thing, and then they didn't get anything out of it but a destroyed building and a big metal cube. But it was like, that was probably the most Pirates of the Caribbean-y moment, admittedly.
Yeah, that's certainly up there as a piracy moment.
Which again, like this movie just had moments that were like, okay, this is cool. Okay, this is cool. But then everything else, like how they got to it, felt rushed and stitched together. Like it was like a Frankenstein's monster of a movie. No pun intended.
Javier Bardem.
Javier Salazar. I like saying that.
But again, it has a very, you know, been there, done that feel. And you know what else? Like the characters, you know, in the original Pirates, they did a better job like developing them and having them, giving them connections, especially with Elizabeth and Will Turner.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying you have to give Karina and Henry, like, a pass together. It's just, like, I just didn't... Okay, they're together because we need an attractive dude and an attractive chick to make out at the end.
Yeah. Well, did they even kiss? I don't remember. Oh, no, yeah, they did. Never mind.
They did.
Yeah, they did.
Remember, she slapped him to make sure he wasn't Javier Bardem, but I'm like, Javier Bardem's more interesting, lady.
Like, I would have kissed Javier Bardem. I don't care if he's dead.
I know he's probably like 3 times your age, but come on.
Have you seen him?
Have you seen his nose?
It's a beautiful face.
It's a beautiful face. It's a little cracked, but it's a beautiful face.
His hair flows in the wind all the time. Like, even when there's no wind, it's still flowing.
Well, it's like it's kind of simulating, you know. I know you figured this. It's like simulating as if he was like still underwater.
Yeah,
especially like, all of them, and like some of those designs are really funky. Like some of them were just heads, and then like just the torso was missing.
I did like they did, which they brought back the 2 dudes from the first movie,
the 2 soldiers turned pirates.
Yeah, because we never really knew what happened to them until like now. I guess they were still pirates for Barbossa.
Yeah,
but I liked the one bit where the dude, because they're the new Pintel and Rigetti.
Yes,
right. Because Pintel and Rigetti does not show up in this movie. Fun fact.
Which I was like, oh man, if you're gonna bring back everybody,
I mean, like because now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, that's right, they were not in this movie. I kind of miss the eyeball thing, like. I don't know. I wonder what happened to them.
Yeah, I mean, I hope if they continue on with these, I hope that gets addressed.
Yeah, because they weren't in Stranger Tides too, were they?
No, they were not.
Yeah, what the heck?
Well, like that's the thing. Stranger Tides is like the weird, like black sheep of these movies because out of the only OG characters it really has are, Jack, Barbossa, and Gibbs.
Yeah, until this movie. This movie, I think, is even more of a black sheep.
Well, it's a black sheep in the sense it's the worst one.
But, like, I guess some of the things that I liked, for the most part, well, hold on. I was going to say something else. Rewind. But, you
were saying?
That was my... the bit when you see, like, the ghost pirates come onto the Queen Anne's... Is it still the Queen Anne's Revenge that Barbossa has, or was that just a random ship that he was on? I don't know. I'm just going to assume it's the Queen Anne's Revenge. They never said anything.
Yeah.
So, when all the dead pirates are coming onto the Queen Anne's Revenge, and then one of them's got one of the dudes from the first movie, like, pinned to a mast, and then the one guy just kind of, like, passes his fingers through, like, whoa, whoa. I don't know. I thought that was kind of nifty. Mm. all that lead up to just that. I thought that was nifty.
Yep.
But like I said, like the things that I did like about the movie, spoilery stuff. But I think we should kind of save the after credits till like the end though, because that's like the big thing.
Yeah.
But I liked some of the more ridiculous action pieces, like when they were dragging the bank. I thought that was pretty cool. I liked some of the fights with the boats and stuff. Honestly, I thought that the whole like entrance, like the whole like area regarding Poseidon's trident looked a lot cooler than say like the Fountain of Youth, for example, from the last movie.
I'll agree with that, sure.
Because it looked more mystical, and I liked that the little red ruby that was on her little diary that I guess Barbossa gave to her.
Mm-hmm.
Which again, kind of plot hole. Shouldn't Barbossa have known how to do this the whole time? And yet he questioned like, how do you read the map or something? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He even had the thing tattooed on his arm.
Where was
I don't know. I questioned that a little bit, but I liked that the island was like, the island reminded me of the inside of the mines from Snow White.
Yeah.
And then that led to the sea parting, Moses style, and then. Though I am kind of bummed Poseidon himself did not show up. I thought that would have been cool.
You see, and I think that's my problem with these last two is that they're not ridiculous enough.
Yeah,
to a degree, except like the first movie, or not the first movie, the Stranger Tides had like the flamethrower ship.
Yeah, like that was weird. But like, you got to think about it. Like, Poseidon's trident exists. It's a little wonky. It doesn't really look like a forceful weapon, but it exists. So shouldn't Poseidon exist?
Hypothetically speaking.
So shouldn't that mean he would have because if someone was messing with my crap that I was just kind of leaving there, I'd be like, dude, I would have shown up and what the heck, man?
Yeah,
you broke my fort.
Yeah.
But I did like that, and I liked just a few other little things design wise. But other than that, that's about it. That's all. And the end credits, but that's about it.
Two characters that we did not need: the David Wedham or whatever the hell. Yeah, Carl, and the bad guy from Iron Fist.
When he showed up, I was like, "Oh gosh, we just talked about it." Oh yeah, Carl from Van Helsing. He's a force of nature now. He's the authoritative actor now. He doesn't play the second banana anymore. And then he just kind of ends.
Yeah, he's the dollar store Norrington.
And then literally he does nothing in the movie. He just yells and chases people, and then he gets eaten by Salazar's ship.
Which I liked it when the ship was eating people. That was kind of nifty, but
that was cool, yeah. And I even liked when it lightning struck and you saw the ship.
Yeah, that was some nice shots.
Yeah, that was cool.
Oh, and then there's that random witch character, the actual witch.
I feel like they stole her from Sleepy Hollow. I think Johnny Depp was like, "Hey, we didn't show you in Sleepy Hollow, so do you want to show up in this movie?"
I feel like she was like a rip-off Tia Dalma.
Again, yeah, just it's pointless characters that didn't really go anywhere.
It's like they had so many subplots.
They had I think it's just there was just too many cooks. You know what I mean? Just too many people in this. That's all I'm saying.
I don't know. It happened, this movie.
Yeah, it's just, again, there was things to like, but it's just, it's one of those movies that's almost hard to like when someone says, "Hey, what's this movie about?" And you're like, stuff.
Things happen in the high seas.
Things happen in the high seas.
And it just really felt just very small scale compared to some of the earlier movies.
Yeah, they're just okay, like I was saying earlier, okay, we need to have a plot. What's the plot? Okay, well, Javier Bardem got killed, and now that he got killed, years later, decades later, he's gonna go find Jack Sparrow who killed him.
Right.
And he's gonna try to kill him. But then we also got to throw in, what are they going to look for? They're looking for Poseidon's trident. That's how they can defeat Salazar, even though, I don't know. And then it's okay, well, what else? Okay, well, this is supposed to be the last Pirates movie, or at least that's what we're going to advertise. It's probably not, but we're going to advertise it like it is. So we're going to tie up so many loose ends. We're going to kill Barbossa. By the way, Barbossa's dead now again. Again, he's dead.
He's like the Han Solo of this franchise because he gets
he gets killed a lot. And then one time it's just like a normal villain death. Now it's just we need to sympathize, but they just kind of threw it in there. Let's kill him after we reveal that he had a kid. Let's show you how Jack Sparrow got his clothes and the compass. Let's mention the first movie or the first trilogy by having Will and Elizabeth show up briefly again. So it's just so much, and none of it amounted to anything worthwhile.
Yeah,
this is kind of a letdown, but there is one great thing, admittedly, about this movie, and we've mentioned it a zillion times throughout this, but we haven't actually said what it was.
Yeah.
Joey?
The after credits scene. Now, every Pirates movie has an after credits scene.
Just like every Marvel movie has an after credits scene.
But again, this was before the MCU.
we again like the MCU, we didn't even know it was a thing until so we realized it later on.
Yeah, until I remember the first time I saw Pirates after the credits scene was like the second time I saw Dead Man's Chest, and my uncle and brother and I came to the theater a little earlier, and the credits were still going, so we just kind of sat down. They usually don't let you do that really anymore. We sat down and we saw the scene where the dog is on the cannibal island.
Yeah. And you're like, what? And then you got to go back to the first Pirates movie, and you see that the monkey lived because he stole the coin.
Third movie, you see, I guess, Henry and Elizabeth see the green flash signaling Will's return. And then the fourth one is Penelope Cruz with the voodoo doll of Jack.
Which, again, oddly enough, none of these end credit scenes really amounted to anything. Except for until this movie, the stinger in
At World's End.
That one.
I'd say At World's End. Yeah, you're right. That's the only one that really has any sort of relevance, but whatever.
I mean that maybe like the first one because the monkey.
Yeah, because Jack.
Jack.
Oh man, but
this one definitely.
Paul McCartney's in this movie.
Oh yeah, we forgot to mention Paul McCartney, which is
Jack,
as by far the best moment, I think, besides the end credits.
The best new character
was freaking. Oh my gosh, I want a Sparrow family reunion.
And I was funny, like explain to my little like my 12-year-old cousin to him who Paul McCartney was. Or not who, but he's like, wait, who is that? I'm like, that's Paul McCartney, the Beatles. He's like,
I like how we've had a Rolling Stone, and now we've had a Beatle. What's the third one gonna have? I don't know. Someone. Maybe they'll have Brian May from Queen show up. I don't know.
At this point, to put in John Fogerty.
Why not? Just throw it to someone random, like Slash.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk about the after credits scene, man.
Okay.
We've been delaying this too long. So after credits scene, the curse is broken on Will. Will is no longer the quote unquote Davy Jones.
Yeah, because to explain it a little bit, the whole point of them trying to find the trident was they were trying to, it like holds the power of the sea. So like all the curses, all like everything that we've seen in every Pirates movie
goes back to the trident in a weird way,
and then it gets destroyed a little too easily. I'd like to mention, like, really, it's never mind. I'm not going to get into it, but
weird.
But when they break Poseidon's trident, they break every curse ever. And one of those curses was a storyline involving Henry, which is freeing his father, Will Turner, and so he's not like, a zombified, whatever, like sea monster, not zombified, but Z monster.
Or as the Funko Pop calls him, the ghost of Will Turner.
Yeah. So now he's Will Turner again. He can go on land whenever he wants. The Flying Dutchman's just a ship.
Yep. It just sails away. But the after credit scene, you see the two lovebirds in bed, and then you see this
just sleeping.
You see the door open, and there's a shadow.
It's creaking open like ever so, and a shadow comes in. And at first you're like, okay, what is a shadow? But then you start seeing.
And you hear the tentacles too.
You hear the tentacles. You see the tentacles, and then Will looks up, and a giant crab claw comes, and he wakes up. It was just a dream. Or was it? The camera pans down. Will's hugging Elizabeth, thinking, it was just a dream. But then we go to the floor, and what do we see on the floor? Barnacles.
Yep.
Frickin' Davy Jones is back.
The best villain of the franchise.
Or
at least the defining villain.
Oh my god, I remember seeing that, I just went, this is the best moment of the whole movie, and I had to wait this whole time.
I'm like, now I want to rewatch Dead Man's Chest.
So I mean, I don't know if that means that they're gonna do like a Pirates movie with Will and Elizabeth more like prominently, or I don't know what it means. But either way, that was a cool little stinger.
Because I mean, what else can you do? What is the future of the Pirates franchise? You know they're going to make more.
I mean, honestly, yeah, you know they're gonna do more, and if they do bring Davy Jones back, that would be pretty cool. But I mean, at this point, I wonder, will anyone even care?
Yeah, especially after this one. This one's kind of gonna left the meh taste in my mouth. And the after credit scene was beautiful, but it was like, for other people, it's like, why? Just watch the other ones.
Like, I don't need it. But I don't know. But it does make me question. I'm starting to think about something now, but I don't want to get too much into it because this video's kind of long. But I might make it an editorial later. Who knows?
Who knows? Stay tuned for that, folks.
If I do it, I probably won't.
I will make it happen.
Don't make me do something.
Don't make me do something, Ricardo.
No, don't make me do something, Jawardo.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's right. I put an Ardo at the end of your name.
Should have just been Jose, but okay.
I didn't want to put that much effort into it.
So, we're both pretty meh on this movie.
Yeah.
You know, we're a little deflated. We love the after credits bit.
That's like the only thing I actually loved. Everything else I either liked or was like, okay.
Overall, I'll still be picking this up on Blu-ray because I just need to have all these movies.
I mean, I might get it just for that reason, but I don't know. I might not be as inclined because between the two of us, you're more of the collector. I'm like, if I don't like it, I'm not buying it.
Yeah, you're the smarter one of the two of us.
In that regard, I mean, you know, in other things, it's up and down.
It's debate. Yeah, certainly, sure. We agree on that.
For sure.
This was a movie. I can't wait for Wonder Woman next week, though. It actually gets me more amped for Wonder Woman.
Yeah, I mean, you know, they had a little thing at my theater where they say, hey, you know, come see Wonder Woman in XD because I went to a cinema because that's where I work.
Right.
But I also side note, this in no relation to Pirates of the Caribbean, but they played a Dunkirk trailer. Did you get the Dunkirk trailer?
No, I did not.
I got a trailer for Dunkirk. But what was cool is, and I don't know if this is true or something, but it was basically the same trailer they've been playing in front of every movie. But this one, basically, I'm assuming it was saying this day in history was when the whole event happened.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was saying today, 77 years ago, 444,000 men or whatever, whatever the number is. So I thought that was kind of a cool little thing.
That's a nifty bit of marketing.
So this day in history. I mean, maybe it'll just be in theaters. I don't know, but that was kind of nifty. I was like, that's cool.
Yeah. What do I got? I got Apes, the new Spider-Man trailer. Actually,
no, I didn't get Spider-Man.
Yeah, actually, we got the new Spider-Man. Trying to remember what else. I was just really excited for Apes and Last Jedi, of course. Cars 3.
Yeah, I got Last Jedi. I didn't get Cars 3. I got Thor Ragnarok.
Oh, you did?
I got Thor Ragnarok. And honestly, the more I watch that trailer, the more excited I get for the movie.
Yeah.
I got Apes. I got Jedi. I got Dunkirk. I got Transformers, oddly enough. So other than that, yeah, that was pretty much it that I can remember.
Yeah. I mean, that's all there really is that needs to be said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The trailers were more interesting than the actual movie.
The trailers, the after credit scene. Yeah.
Yeah. So, that was our thoughts on Pirates of the Caribbean. If you're still with us, I'm sorry. It just kind of dragged, but hey, hopefully you had a good time.
It's actually an accurate depiction of the movie, except ours is not as long.
Yeah. And ours, hopefully, was more entertaining. I think it was.
I'd like to think so.
I'm going to officially say it was.
That's you heard it here first, folks. You heard it here first.
This, in fact, was more interesting. Oh yeah, I said it.
Oh man.
But I guess in the comments, let us know what you thought. If you liked it, did you if you didn't like it, just let us know.
Talk to us.
Yeah.
Please.
We did get a comment on our last video though. What our favorite cinematic universe was?
Yeah.
What was your answer?
I don't really. I'm up in the air. I like I said in that one video. I like movies. Or like on our messages to each other, we like movies and sequels, but I don't think there's a cinematic universe that I really latch onto per se.
Yeah, I mean, there's movies in cinematic universes that I like Winter Soldier, for example. I like in the Marvel movies, and I mean, I do like Man of Steel. Sorry, Joey.
It's okay.
I mean, I'm not sorry, but I'm sorry I mentioned it. That's what I mean.
Well, yeah.
And like I was saying to you, I guess maybe technically the Tarantino movies are kind of the same universe. I like Tarantino's movies. I like the View Askew universe, the early Kevin movies. I like those. But other than that, I don't really have like a definitive answer, I guess.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's the answer to that question. I don't know who the commenter was, but there's your answer.
If anybody else in Movie Squad makes videos, they want to address that question, please do that. Gifford, address that. If Wikey makes a new video, please address that. Feehan, if you do something, please.
Gifford, confirm that.
Gifford, confirm what your favorite cinematic universe is.
That's what you need to confirm right now.
Right, like literally right now. Just like make a video before we upload this thing.
Exactly.
Just because. Just because we said so.
You should already. I mean, why aren't you making it right now, Gifford? Obviously, you're listening to this.
Obviously, because I sent it to
you. Clairvoyantly, he's like sending this to you.
Shout out to Gifford for watching my video in the future.
What?
Which will be the past by the time he gets to this part of the video.
This is true.
Oh man.
Anyway,
it's been fun talking about this movie we both didn't really care for.
I mean, when isn't it fun?
This is true. When isn't it fun? So, yeah, that's about it. We'll have some more content, I guess, out in the future. Just stay tuned for that. Maybe we'll have a review of Wonder Woman at some point.
Maybe we'll do another retrospective of something.
We'll have a Mummy video at some point.
Yeah.
And
then,
you know what? I should just sneak with my brother to see Baywatch on Saturday because I know he's going to try to see Baywatch, and I'll post a Baywatch review.
I mean, if you want, that's up to you.
I'll just describe the movie to you. You'll be like,
I feel like, yeah, that sounds about right.
That sounds accurate.
That sounds like someone filmed it with a camera.
Now I just want a Pirates of the Caribbean whirlpool maelstrom sequence, but in the middle of the whirlpool you see The Rock's face.
No, you know what I'm thinking? What if you start describing Baywatch to me and then you say there's an after credits stinger and I'm like, really? There is? He's like, yeah. So while they're on the beach, you see Dwayne The Rock Johnson as whatever his character's name is talking about something vulgar because it's R-rated. He's looking out in the ocean. He sees a whirlpool. And out of the whirlpool, the Black Pearl shows up, and then we have our. They've traveled. Somehow they've time traveled because they found some other mystical thing that they had whatever allowed them to travel through time. And yeah, there you go. I just made a new franchise for you: the Baywatch Pirates of the Caribbean cinematic universe. Because everybody wants that.
Everybody.
You see Jack Sparrow and all them running on the beach in slow motion.
Anyway, we'll see you guys later.
Bye.
Bye.